Hey there guys, SCL3618 here. Today we'll be doing a review on the Kato 500 series Shinkansen. This is of course the newest addition to my import collection, and in fact a very recent release from Kato, Japan. So what we're going to do per usual, crack it open, show you what comes in the set box, and give it a little track time. So here we go. Alright, so first a little history for those who don't know what this is. This is of course for anyone who grew up in the late 90s, the Japanese bullet train. The 500 series, this was built in 97. So this was a JR West train set, and of course this wasn't the full thing. The actual train set length is replicated here on the back. What's in red is what you get in the box. So there are options to buy extension car sets, and so you can create the full 500 series train set. Now to me this has been one of my favorites, of course. I mean, again, growing up 90s kid, this is what you saw when you looked up Japan, the bullet trains, besides of course the Type 0 and the early ones. So this has always been a soft spot train for me. So here's what's in the package. One thing I do find funny is it does come with a little retail slot that does also show the train set, so you know what you're getting. So this is typical Japanese ingenuity on the packaging, so A+ on that. Right, so once you crack open the box, here's all you get. You get some, this is just to show you, of course you get your instruction manual, you get some decals on the sticker sheet. So for those who have never bought a bullet train set, basically what you need to know, the power cars are not the locomotives. The power comes from one of the two coaches, in this case the coach right here. Alright, so here's everything out of the box, 2 power cars and 2 coaches. So we'll start off with the power cars. One thing I forgot to mention earlier, if this looks familiar, especially recently, the 500 series, one of the train sets was repainted into an Evangelion, and if those who don't know Evangelion, this is of course an anime. It is replicated into the Type EVA Shinkansen. Now, after it was done with that tour and whatnot, it was repainted into, of all things, a Hello Kitty hot pink livery. So that's currently what it's running around Japan as right now. Tomix and Kato both did really well on the 500 series train sets out of those. So that's one cool thing to note if you're, number one, in Japan and see it, or number two, come across a model. So we'll take one of the power cars here. This is about what you get. They are very free rolling, it should be noted, and that's one great staple about any Kato product, especially anything along the bullet train line. It will be very free rolling and very fast, so just so you know what you get into. But to me this is one of the most iconic noses. Of course, again, late 90s, this is what I always thought of when I saw the bullet train, because this is what was publicized the most. So one really cool thing to note is Kato, being Kato of course, so this thing comes with operating head and tail lights. Then of course the tail light being up here and the headlights down here. And we'll demonstrate that on the track later. But here's just another side view. The couplers on these are a little different. They latch together by a little pin down there, and you just kind of lift up to disconnect. But I'll demonstrate that once we get on the track. So here's the coach that holds the motor. Pretty straightforward. Both trucks are geared. It's got a good amount of weight to it, and it's very well balanced. So now we'll go lastly to the coach, the pantograph. And the cool thing is, the pantograph does come up. And the really neat thing, if you were to get the Dr. Yellow inspection train, they've actually mounted on the most recent run a little SMD LED right there that flickers as you run to simulate pantograph spark. So again, a lot of innovation and a lot of cool stuff going on with these trains, and that's why I love them. But there's that. Again, very well balanced, very good center of gravity, and thus forth. So enough of looking at this thing parked. Let's get it on the track and cut her loose. Alright, so for the track segment, again, doing something very unorthodox, I'm having to make do with the kitchen floor. This is of course because my current layout's taken down and I have no room for the N scale, so we're just going to make do and knock this review out. And you can hear we might have a little Catzilla in the background. So before I put everything on, we'll demonstrate the headlight and tail light, so here we go. This is automatic, and I'll cut the light so you guys can see that better. Alright, so again, per coupling, all you got to do is line the 2 walkways and couplers up, apply a little pressure, and they will click together. As per uncoupling, all you got to do is really take it and just lift up. There you have it, guys. Here's the 4-car train together. So we're just going to cut it loose for a few laps around the track. This is a wider radius unit track, a couple small straights, so we're just going to cut this thing loose and have some fun. there you have it. That's my review of the Kato Basic 4-car 500 series Shinkansen set. Now overall, this is really good value for the money. I pre-ordered mine on eBay from Plaza Japan. I believe I paid after shipping around $110 to $120. That's still really good. I mean, of course, in the American market, there's not much to compare to this other than the Kato ACS 64 or the Bach Nacella. These Shinkansen sets are very well made, very cool, and they'll definitely be a good conversation piece in your layout. I mean, I've even seen some guys stateside running them on modulars and so forth. But if you're on the fence, I highly recommend checking it out, and you might end up like me, falling down the rabbit hole that is Japanese trains. So good luck. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time.